Welcome to Sea of Thieves News. The sun is shining, the grass is yellow, and I'm here to tell you about what's coming up in today's episode. Renown's back on the menu with an all-new live event. Christina's got all of the details of our next update with the monthly patch notes, and we're going behind the scenes on how the community had a hand in crafting a new ship set. It was too sunny out there anyway. Over the next month, our calendar is loaded with live events, like our regular fight nights and emissaries of fortune. It's also not long until the debut of our new live event, Renown Rally, where you can accelerate your progress through the season pass by taking advantage of boosted renown. The Bilge Rats are back at it too, with another challenge-laden weekender. There are new items available to purchase from both Lorena and Duke, some dazzling firework displays to enjoy, as well as the return of the Ashen Expeditions live event, which sees you journey into the Devil's Roar for some high-value Ashen rewards. We're also running a temporary special event called Big Ship, Little Ship. For one weekend, this will introduce a change to how matchmaking works in adventure mode, so sloops will only share the seas with other sloops, while brigantines and galleons will sail the seas together. We're hoping to get some insight on how crews behave in environments where they're always matched with similar-sized crews. But don't worry, we won't have you under the microscope for too long. Then you can go back to baiting unsuspecting galleon crews with your white sail sloop. We see you. And now, to give you even more detail on what's coming in the next update, let's check in with Christina for the monthly patch notes.
Hello. I know you're all busy people and the video team are itching to get to lunch, so I guess I'd better get on with it and run through the highlights of the August update patch notes. This one's a custom seas update full of quality of life changes, a new legendary location, and even more switches and commands to get creative or wreak havoc with. First up, there's a new legendary location, the Seas of Sailor's Grave. You'll recognise this map as the one used in Last Ship Standing. So, while you wait for that event to return, you can head in and battle against your pals instead of random pirates, because explosive ship battles are what friendships are all about. This update also brings a dedicated custom seas options menu in the game options menu, giving you an alternate way to access the quick command menu, full command menu, see the session overview and enter the free camera mode. And I think I should say menu one more time for good luck. Menu! Sorry. This has been highly requested since free camera arrived, so we hope this one will please all you photographers and cinematographers. The settings you dial in while using the free camera mode will now save when you close it, so the next time you open it in the same session, it'll be just as you had it before. When you spawn a new rowboat to attach to your ship, you can now pick which flavour appears, from regular, cannon, harpoon, reaper or salt and vinegar. Except not that last one, that's crisps. And not only that, but we're upping the cap on the number of rowboats that can be active during a session, from 6 to 24. I'm not sure who needs 24 rowboats, but to whoever those people are, you're welcome. Anyway, onto my favourite subject, death! You can now edit your session to completely skip the Ferry of the Damned when a player dies. You can also choose whether player reviving is enabled or not, set it so that the down state is auto-skipped, and you can now easily toggle invulnerability on or off. Lovely. And staying on the topic of death, let's look at the number one cause of death in the Sea of Thieves, weapons! You can now edit the damage values dealt by each weapon in your session, so you can dial values up and down as you see fit. You can even set negative values, so each bullet blasted from a blunderbuss or slash from a cutlass could actually be a symbol of love and care as they bring you back to full health. You can also edit weapon loadouts to have the pirates in your session be completely unarmed. And I know what you're thinking. Does this mean they'll literally have no arms? Turns out no, just means they won't be carrying any weapons. Maybe no arms in another update perhaps. I look forward to the no arms when comments. There are new additions to the creatures and items you can spawn, including a range of treasure from some of our tall tales, as well as our Order of Bone and Blade Skellies, and a trio of Skeleton Lords. You still can't make them kiss though, which is disappointing. Maybe the next update? Anybody? No, never mind, that's fine. If, like me, you see avoiding sea rocks and islands as optional, then the next two changes will be right up your alley. A new option in the command menu will let you fully repair your ship at the press of a button, and there's now also an option to make your ship completely invulnerable to damage. Finally, the reckless sailors are being catered for. And to round out the custom seas updates this month, you can now toggle player visibility outside of the free camera mode, including your shadow, just like this. You know, just in case you want to play the hardest version of hide and seek possible. Stay with me, we're nearly there, I promise. Just a couple more things to note. If you secure victory in a faction battle, something I'm all too familiar with as a hardcore sweat, then your ship will now automatically repair itself, letting you focus on scooping up the spoils of your battle and not patching those holes your crewmates neglected. And for the folks playing on PC and sharing their adventures on streaming platforms, we'll detect if you're using popular streaming software and ask if you want to apply some streamer-friendly settings. You could always say no, of course, but just in case you don't want to broadcast your gamer tag to the whole world, we're going to ask anyway. So there's all of that, and then there's our live events, our new cosmetics in the Outpost stores, new items in the Pirate Emporium, game security updates, a load of bug fixes, and even more. For the full details of everything going into the August update, check out the release notes to the link below when the update arrives on the 20th. Right, I think that's enough of that. Until next time, cheerio!
The weaponsmiths of the Sea of Thieves know that some of you appreciate the finer things in life, so they've been hard at work crafting some stylish, but deadly, silver coin weapons, the perfect balance of efficient lethality and elegance. We've also got even more Twitch drops on the way. Watch any participating Sea of Thieves partner to unlock a fine selection of rewards, including the Beachcomber's Bounty Sales, the Hornpipe Dance Emote, and the all-new Luminant Waters Lantern. For more information on how to get involved, visit the link below. To coincide with the next game update, we're refreshing the Creator Crew. We're collecting a handful of our social channel contests like Sot Shot, Be More Pirate and Style of Thieves, bringing them together under the Creator Crew banner and giving them a bit of a polish, with an updated cadence and some shiny new rewards. There's something here for everyone, so if you're ready to show the world your creative endeavours, then head on over to the Creator Crew website for more details. Now, let's catch up with principal concept artist Esther Smisdom and go behind the scenes on an all-new community creation.
So at Sea of Thieves Fest, I was invited to do a live stream on stage, and the plan was that I was going to design a livery, but there was a little twist involved. It was not just me designing a livery, I was going to design a livery with the help of our fans, and they got to decide the majority of the things, which led to absolute chaos. They got Beardley to host, which I was really excited about. I feel like he was on the side of the audience, I was on the side of Rare, and that created, I think, a lovely dynamic.
My job today is to get you to create the most horrific design that we can come up with.
Things started out great, you know, they picked some amazing icons, I was really confident. Then we reached the coloring stage, and I very quickly lost all hope, basically, that this was going to be something nice. The only thing left to do was the flag. So to just get it wrapped up, I was like, I'll let Beardley pick the final two colors and call it a day. And then he just looks me dead in the eyes and says the worst possible answer. And he just goes,
brown.
And everyone cheered, and there's nothing I could do. And now it's brown. But it was kind of wholesome to see how quickly they united to be like, this is going to be the worst thing in the game. But I think what really matters is the story behind it, and that so many people were involved and contributed to the making of and the stories they can tell. And I feel like that reflects the game a bit as well, right? And at the end of the day, we just all want some silly fun.
Thank you all so much.
A big cheer for Esther. Thank you very, very much.
Oh, and it glows in the dark, because of course it does.
With the release of the next game update, new items will be available over in the Pirate Emporium. Fight as a champion of the light as you drive back the denizens of darkness with a suite of new sunlit sepulchre cosmetics, including this dazzling ship collection. In a world where devilish creatures stalk through the night, you can never have too many stakes. And with a range of sunlit sepulchre weapons, clothing and equipment, even when dawn is still hours away, you'll be prepared to face whatever kind of monsters skulk out of the shadows. And if you're looking for a chaotic critter to help you navigate the night, the ghostly cursed fox is in dire need of a legendary pirate pal. And there's another freebie to claim too, the wing flap emote, where it looks like you're either imitating a dancing bird or you really need the toilet. From the 21st to the 24th of August, we're unleashing an explosive sale in the Pirate Emporium. We've blasted 30% off the price of a range of weapons and cannons, so if you've got a bias for things that go boom, you might want to check it out. And finally, if you're in the mood for a retro reimagining that harkens back to the glory days of adventures past, then look no further than this playful remix of Bosun Bill, now available on Spotify and other streaming services. And that's us for another episode. We'll be back next time with new updates, peeks behind the scenes and much more. Until then, I'm off to wander aimlessly until I'm forced to film the next episode.
Bye.